If you think Buddhist renunciation means abandoning everything we love and living in solitude, you're far from the truth. Many believe that renunciation means depriving oneself of all happiness and attachment. But today we'll discover together that it's exactly the opposite, a true liberation from attachment and the pain it brings. Imagine walking along a beach. The water laps at your feet while the sun shines in the sky. Everything seems perfect, but suddenly a wave crashes over you, knocking you down. That wave represents attachment. Every time we cling to someone or something, we expose ourselves to the risk of falling, of loss, of pain. Renunciation, on the other hand, is the art of learning not to fall, of living freely, even when the waves of life get stronger. So today we'll explore what renunciation really means in Buddhist practice and how we can apply these principles to our daily lives. By the end of this video, you'll discover how renunciation can be the key to a lighter, more serene, and more balanced life. Renunciation in the Buddhist context isn't a matter of deprivation. It's rather a matter of conscious choice. Do you really want to free yourself from the burden of attachment? Think about the things you possess. How many of them bring you true joy? Often, the more we attach ourselves to something, the more we feel tied to it. A noble path begins when we decide to let go of what weighs us down. To begin, let's reflect together on an important concept: material objects. Let's think about our most cherished possessions. How often do you feel the need to possess things to feel complete? Buddhist master Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "Owning something doesn't make you happy. In fact, it makes it harder for you to be happy." Every time we cling to objects, we trap ourselves in a rut of desire and dissatisfaction. Let me give you an example. Imagine owning an expensive car. Every time you take it, you care for it, you protect it. But every time a scratch or a small dent appears, your heart sinks. Happiness seems to wane, and anxiety increases. Instead, try to view your journey as an adventure, without material anchors holding you back. When we learn to hold our belongings with a light hand, happiness begins to flourish. Now let's take a moment to reflect on another aspect of renunciation: relationships. Sometimes we're so attached to people in our lives that we don't realize how much we're suffering. True renunciation, in this case, doesn't mean distancing ourselves from those people, but freeing ourselves from the idea of possessing them. Giving those you love space to be who they are without expectations or conditions is not only an act of love, but an act of profound freedom. Try thinking about a relationship you have in your life. Who is the person you feel most connected to? Thoughts like, "I can't live without you," create an attachment that, when confronted with life's challenges, often causes pain and conflict. Learn to view that person as a traveling companion, not as a possession. So, how can you apply these concepts of renunciation to your daily life? Here's a practical exercise. Every morning, before starting your day, take 5 minutes to reflect on what you're grateful for. Write these things down, but with an important note. Realize that what you're grateful for may be temporary. This doesn't mean not appreciating the people or objects in your life. It means enjoying that moment without attachment, knowing that everything is impermanent. Another example is the time you dedicate to meditation. Meditation is a form of renunciation, as it allows us to let go of distractions and worries. Make your meditation space your personal refuge, where you let go of everything that weighs you down and distracts you. Learn to contemplate your true essence, which is light and free of attachment. Now let's talk about another aspect of renunciation: expectations. How many times have you planned every detail of your life only to be met with a surprise that knocks you down? Life is unpredictable, and expectations can become our greatest prisons. When we learn to let go of expectations, we create a space for freedom and acceptance. Imagine planning a vacation. You've planned every hour, but then at the last minute the plan falls apart. Frustration builds and expectations overwhelm you. Letting go in this case allows you to say, okay, I accept what happens. And this allows you to simply enjoy the moment, free from the constraints of expectation. Now, I want you to reflect on a common enemy we face: self-criticism. This can become a real burden. How many times have you felt inadequate because of comparisons with others? Renunciation can help you with this too. Learn to look at yourself with kindness and let go of the criticism you inflict on yourself. You have enough to deal with without being your own worst enemy. Remember, renunciation isn't the denial of emotions or desires. Rather, it's a way to experience them without being enslaved by them. Learn to observe your desires. When you feel the need for something, take a moment to meditate on that desire. Ask yourself, what does this desire really offer me? And what would happen if I let it go? You'll find that what seems essential often disappears once you carefully observe it. So, to develop a renunciation mindset, I invite you to practice a few exercises. In a notebook, start writing down 3 things you feel attached to. These could be objects, people, or even emotional states. Then, for each of them, reflect on what your life would be like if you weren't attached to them. This practice will help you see that ultimately, freedom comes from letting go. Furthermore, whenever something makes you angry or disappoints you, ask yourself, what power am I giving this situation to influence my well-being? This will help you identify your attachments and expectations. When you practice renunciation, you will see that you are destined to become a lighter and more serene person. You will learn to face difficulties without being overwhelmed. Every day will be an opportunity to practice your liberation from attachments and expectations. Finally, before we delve into the last part of this topic, I want to ask you a question. Are you ready to embark on this journey toward freedom? If millions of people around the world are embracing this philosophy, why shouldn't you too? Learning renunciation and applying it in your life can radically transform it. You have the power to live without the burden of attachment, pursuing joy and serenity. Remember that renunciation is a choice, a decision of love for yourself and the world around you. Buddhist renunciation is not an absence, but an attentive and mindful presence. It invites you to live in the present moment, savoring life's gifts without being imprisoned by the bonds of attachment. So, don't wait any longer. Start looking at your attachments with new eyes today. The things that weigh you down today can instead become opportunities for growth and freedom. Free your heart now and always. The journey to renunciation and freedom is just beginning.